Raila Amolo Odinga has finally left the hospital. The daughter, Winnie Odinga, shared a video of Raila Amolo Odinga jogging and exercising within their compound.
Huh? You're back home?
Oh, yes.
How are you feeling after all those days?
Wonderful. It feels so nice to be back home. You know?
I have to keep my distance from
I
you.
was like, you know, a prison back. And it's
You're
nice
like-
to be in fresh air, see the greens, you know, around here.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm still in isolation, but at least I can see the nature.
You're like a leper.
Yeah. I'll come from a leper island.
It's good to have you back, Dad.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back.
This is good.
Yeah, stretch those knees. Looking good.
And from the comments on that particular video, it seems Kenyans are finally happy that Raila Odinga is finally out of danger. By the time of doing this particular video, the video which was posted on Raila Odinga's Facebook page had taken 1 hour up. And within that 1 hour, 101,000 Kenyans or people had viewed that particular video. 1,200 people had shared the video. Within that 1 hour, 4,300 people had commented on that particular video. And within that 1 hour, 10,000 people had liked the video. That's serious interaction on Raila Odinga's Facebook page today. That just confirms to you one thing, that Kenyans were really following Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's good news for him. And I've been reading the comments on that particular post. And Kenyans can never disappoint you. Some people are really suggesting that Corona has actually apologized to Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's why Raila Odinga has been left to go. And other Kenyans are arguing, which I think could be true also, that Raila Odinga and his handlers ought to have waited a bit longer, because country were expecting Raila Amolo Odinga, so they could have really waited for Kenyans to continue waiting. While others were of the opinion that the way Raila Odinga's handlers have been managing this situation is the best, by communicating Kenyans are at least following whatever is happening to Raila Amolo Odinga. But there is a comment which some people are making, which I also tend to agree with, that being COVID positive, Raila Odinga ought to have been isolated for 2 weeks. Even if not 2 weeks, probably his handlers should have ensured that he stayed outside the media for 2 weeks. But Raila Odinga is not an ordinary Kenyan. Raila Odinga is more than a Kenyan. But personally, I think there are certain things that Raila Odinga must do the moment he's fully recovered. So in this video today, I want to highlight 4 things which I think Raila Odinga should do immediately after he's fully recovered. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two, click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to the main issue. Raila Odinga is now out of danger. We know that by the time Raila Odinga became sick, the whole country almost got sick. But there are certain things which I think Raila Odinga should do immediately he get out of this particular situation. The first thing which I would want to see Raila Odinga doing, it might look weird, but I would want Raila Amolo Odinga to look for this gentleman who wanted the country to be disbanded. In my considered opinion, Raila Odinga would do this country a big service by just looking for that guy once he's fully recovered, probably taking social distancing, masking, and washing hands to just assure the country that the country is not going to be disbanded. This man This man here, I think deserves either a meal, a breakfast, or just a photo opportunity with Raila Odinga. Probably Winnie Odinga, whom I know is very proactive, and even Junior, my good friend, will take up the opportunity to invite this guy to Raila Odinga. The entire country want to see whether we are going to go ahead and disband the country or the country is still going to continue. So that's the first thing I'd want Raila Odinga to do.
Finally, let me tell Raila Odinga, Mama, we are with you. We are following you. We are dying with you. And I made sure that the gospel is heard. This issue of coronavirus, it has created a number of things here. Some people are mocking us. That reggae has been stopped. According to me, I know reggae is still on. Reggae is going on. And if this thing can touch Raila Odinga, we are going to, this country should be disbanded and everybody should go home. If at all it can touch Raila Odinga, Uhuru has done little.
The second thing I'd want Raila Odinga to do is to turn himself into a COVID ambassador. I want Raila Odinga to be now the guy or the face of COVID. Because in this country, as at now, he's the senior most individual who is a survivor. I know several other politicians have suffered the same. People like Moses Kuria, several others have lost their lives. But Raila Odinga suffered at his age, he survived. So which means he's the right guy to educate Kenyans on the issue of COVID. I want to take you to Tanzania. In Tanzania, the President Pombe Magufuli was sick or has been sick. And the country didn't know, Tanzania didn't know whatever was going around the president. In fact, there were even speculations that the guy is in a coma. Some even speculated that he's in a negative state. I don't know what negative state is. Some even suggested that the guy might have succumbed. And yesterday, John Pombe Magufuli came out to publicly for the first time address the country. He actually swore in some of the people they appointed. And what shocked me most is the fact that Pombe Magufuli, despite the fact that people were speculating that he had COVID, despite the fact that so many people have died in Tanzania out of COVID, he's still just doing the same thing. He's still just committing the same mistake. He appeared in that video without a mask. That's a very bad show. John Pombe Magufuli appeared in that video just greeting people. Something which should not be allowed to happen. John Pombe Magufuli appeared in that video without even observing social distancing. So in my considered opinion, Raila Odinga should be different. He should use he should use his love for the country. He should take the opportunity that Kenyans really love him to show back love. How can he show back love? He can be a good example. He should start teaching people that the best thing you can do to deal with this situation is, number one, keep social distancing. Number two, apart from keeping social distancing, number two, wash your hands. Apart from washing your hands consistently, you should also wear a mask. I won't expect to see Raila Odinga after this particular incident attending any function without a mask. I won't want to see any other photo of Raila Odinga. I'm speaking from my heart. I wouldn't expect to see another photo of Raila Odinga after this particular incident going outside there without, for example, a mask. The third thing I would want Raila Odinga to do is to take the COVID vaccine. You see, in Africa, we have several myths. And we've seen videos, we've seen photos of other African leaders taking COVID vaccine, which is okay. There was this, I think it was it a Ugandan minister. From the video, it is clear this person was not being injected. They were just doing it for camera. In this country, there are so many people who still believe that that vaccine is not right. Based on medical recommendations, if Raila Amolo Odinga, based, because at his age probably he might not qualify for the vaccine, but I saw Wallace Soyinka of Nigeria taking the test, and I'm trying to imagine probably their age mates. So if Raila Odinga qualifies to take the COVID vaccines, I would like him to lead from the front, to take leadership by taking the vaccine, so that the rest of the country can also see that indeed the vaccine is right. So that's something I would want Raila Odinga to do, just for the sake of the country. The fourth thing, which is political, which I would want Raila Odinga to do now, is to figure out how his campaigns are going to be conducted moving forward. One thing which we know is that nobody can substitute Raila Amolo Odinga in that field. So if it's a football match, then Raila Odinga is one of the dependable players on his side. But he must craft a team. In 2002, when Mwai Kibaki was injured, Raila Odinga stepped up and campaigned for Mwai Kibaki on a wheelchair. Raila Odinga should start thinking towards that line, that in this match you can get injured. When you get injured, who is going to take the role? He must start figuring out that in this match, 1 or 2 times, the player might just get tired. Then they need to be replaced. Then who is going to replace him? So in my considered opinion, one of the things Raila Odinga must work on is craft a team which can sustain the campaigns even when and if he is not around. That's one thing which he must do. I've seen his latest rallies. Babu Wino was very popular with the people. Whether it's the time now to elevate Babu to another level, I don't know. I've seen in his rallies, Hassan Joho is very popular with Kenyans. Maybe it's the time now to start handling Joho more roles within the ODM party. Outside the ODM party, in terms of BBI, on the other side, they need to figure out which teams can really help Raila Odinga in campaigns. So it's something which is going to be very, very important. And it's not only applying to Raila Amolo Odinga only, because we are in a country. Even on the other side of William Ruto, they must start figuring out, if Ruto is not there, who or which team can actually campaign or can be seen to represent him. Can these people today assume that Raila Odinga and William Ruto are outside the country for like 3 months? Can we have politics moving? Those are some of the questions. So in my considered opinion, he must start figuring out how he can craft a team which can appeal to people in case he's not there. Lastly, the other thing I want Raila Odinga to do is to be innovative. And probably the entire country, we need to start being innovative. How are we going to organize our campaigns at the midst of this particular pandemic? In the last election in the United States of America, there's something which I observed, which I really liked. Donald Trump disregarded all these COVID protocols. It was understandable. But Joe Biden followed those guidelines. And in his rallies, I would see him going to some places, going there. Then people, like if he's going to a place, let's say Raila Odinga is going to Nyeri, or he's going to Kariobangi, or Uhuru Park. So people would drive to those rallies, to those Joe Biden rallies, and then he would address them. But these guys will just be in their cars. Of course, the situation is different. In Kenya, very few people own the cars, but you can look at a situation where political leaders organize rallies, but then those who are attending either decide to keep social distance. If they don't, then like if you have your motorbike, you keep social distance, you don't leave your motorbike, you just on it. Several other people, if someone has his vehicle there, someone like that. The other alternative is that probably it's the time now to start thinking on technology. How can you use technology to reach more people? Is it possible that in this country now, like Raila Odinga can address the nation through social media, through TVs? So he says that I'm going to have a rally, say in Mombasa. He goes in Mombasa, have like 20 people or 100 people inside the hall there. then these rallies are beamed, some through mobile screens outside, and also beamed live to their supporters, so that the supporters will be on their phones, but watching those rallies going on there. So I think it's time now for, as a country, we start figuring out the most innovative way of conducting campaigns, especially during this pandemic. I'm not saying that this pandemic is going to end. It's going to end, but we must figure out. So Raila Odinga should take a lead in all this. And the mere fact that Raila Odinga is now fine, personally, I am very happy. And I want to thank Winnie for sharing the video. At least the country, people who are going to church. I know so many people have been praying for Raila Odinga. Personally, I've received a lot of WhatsApp messages of people asking me how Raila Odinga is doing. And at least some of us who have contacts around him, at least some of his handlers assured me that Raila Odinga was fine. That the major problem they were facing is that they wanted Raila Odinga to continue being in hospital, but Raila Odinga also was missing home. You know, he's an old man. He wanted to see the grandsons, the granddaughters at home. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.